Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Nur Hazira Naswa binti Azizan. Nombor kad matrik saya 16DTK20F2027. Dan ahli kumpulan saya Nur Atirah binti Muhammad Rashid 16DTK20F2032. Dan seterusnya Fatin Nodiana binti Muhammad Jalani 16DTK20F208. Tajuk kami adalah Bipolar Junction Transistor. Seterusnya, soalan kami adalah bipolar junction transistor must include the basic of transistor, the 1 to 5 characteristic of transistor, the principle of working transistor and configuration of transistor. Next slide. BJT has three terminals that represent the base, emitter and collector. Some transistors are equipped with caps to indicate the emitter terminal. The first letter printed on a BJT indicates the types of semiconductor used. If the first letter is A, it means germanium is used in the BJT. If the first letter is B, it means silicon is used. For example, BC108 and BC478. Okay, next slide. The 1 to 5 characteristic of transistor. The 1 to 5 characteristic of power BJT divides into three regions. First, active region. Second, saturation region. 3, cut-off region.
Assalamualaikum, nama saya Nur Atirah binti Muhammad Rashid. Nombor matrik saya 16DTK20F2032. Saya akan sambung untuk slide seterusnya. Okay. Untuk saturation region. In the saturation region, the transistor does not operate as an amplifier but as a switch. In this region, both the base emitter junction and base collector junction are in forward bias, and this causes extremely large values of IC. The value of VCE in the saturation region is very small. VCE equal kosong. Since VCE equal VCC tolak ICRC. This region is equivalent to the on-state closed switch when the BJT is used as a switch. Seterusnya, cut-off region. This region is equivalent to the off state of a switch. Therefore, the transistor is used as an open switch in the cut-off region. In the cut-off region, the base emitter junction and base collector junction are both in reverse bias. When IB equals 0, the transistor operates in the cut-off region where theoretically no collector current flows, but in reality there is a very small amount of collector leakage current, ICEO. Since ICEO is extremely small, it is usually neglected in circuit analysis. Therefore, VCE equal VCC when IC equal 0. Baik, seterusnya The principles of working transistor. The emitter terminal of the transistor is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Hence, the emitter base junction becomes forward bias and base collector junction becomes reverse bias. In this condition, no current will flow through the device. Seterusnya, there are three types of configuration as a common base CB, common collector CC, and common emitter ECE. In common base CB configuration, the base terminal of the transistor is common between two output terminals. Seterusnya, common base configuration. In this configuration, we use base as common terminal for both input and output signals. The configuration name itself indicates the common terminal. Here the input is applied between the base and emitter terminals, and the corresponding output signal is taken between the base and collector terminals with the base terminal ground. Here the input parameters are VEB and IE, and the output parameters are VCB and IC. The input current flowing into the emitter terminal must be higher than the base current and collector current to operate the transistor. Therefore, the output collector current is less than the input emitter current. And the input characteristics of this configuration looks like characteristics of illuminated photodiode, while the output characteristics represents a forward bias diode. This transistor configuration has high output impedance and low input impedance. This type of configuration has high resistance gain. Ratio of output resistance to input resistance is high. The voltage gain for this configuration of circuit is given below. Baik, seterusnya, common collector configuration. First, in this configuration, the input signal is applied between the base collector region and the output is taken from the emitter collector region. Here the input parameters are VBC and IB, and the output parameters are VEC and IE. The common collector configuration has high input impedance and low output impedance. The input and output signals are in phase. Here also the emitter current is equal to the sum of collector current and the base current. Now let us calculate the current gain for this configuration. Okay, itu saja. Thank you.